Sairam students, I welcome all of you once again to the second part of lesson number 21, Busy at Work, our internal organ. So let's recall once again whatever we have learnt in the last lecture. So students, in the last lecture we have learned that there are different type of the organ which are present inside our body and they work differently and even their location is different inside our body. So as you can see that over here, the brain is situated in the head region, the heart and the lungs, they are situated in the chest region, the liver, kidney, stomach, they all are situated in the stomach region. And even you can see that the bladder it is called as what? Urinary bladder, which forms the urine and which disposes of the urine. Again you can see that over here the small intestine, even the small intestine and large intestine which are present for the process of what? Digestion. Lungs are there for the process of respiration. And you can see that over here one more important factor, which is the skin. The skin is present all over the body. So all are the different parts of the internal organ which are not visible from outside. They are inside, but they are equally important for the survival purpose. So students, we have learned that the most important process which occurs inside our body, that is the respiration. Without respiration, our survival will be in the danger. So each and every second our nose is doing the work of the respiration. Till now we all were aware that only nose is involved in the process of the respiration. But apart from the nose, even there are certain different organs which are present inside our body which are not visible to us, but they are equally important for the process of respiration. So as you can see that students over here, the respiratory system, it is made up of nose, it is made up of trachea, which is also called as a windpipe, and again in the respiratory system lungs are involved. And you can see that here in the respiratory system, this trachea, it is divided into many branch like structure. So this branch like structure, they are called as bronchi. These bronchi again subdivided finally, they are called as bronchiole. And at the end of the bronchiole there are certain grape like structure. So the grape like structure which is present at the bronchiole, they are called as what? Alveoli. And as you can see that over here, the diaphragm is present just below the lungs. So the diaphragm, it is a flexible sheet like structure which is present between the thoracic cavity and the abdominal cavity. So these are the organs which are involved in the respiratory system. And what we have learned, one more thing, there are many type of the germs, smoke and the different particles which are present inside the air. So the dust particle and the germs, they might go inside our body during process of respiration. So we have to avoid them from going inside the lungs. So that's why to avoid them from going inside the lung, our respiratory system, it is lined by hair-like structure. So the hair-like structure which are present in our nose and the respiratory tract, they are called as what? Cilia. And along with the cilia, our respiratory tract, it is covered by one sticky substance. And the sticky substance which is present inside our body, it is called as what? Mucus. So what mucus exactly does? As mucus is very sticky in nature, mucus absorbs the dust particle, mucus absorbs the germs, and it prevents all of them from going inside the lungs and it avoids the respiratory infection. So students, as you can see that I just told you that between the thoracic cavity, thoracic cavity means what? Chest cavity, and the abdominal cavity means what? The stomach cavity. So between the thoracic cavity and between the abdominal cavity, you can see that there is a flexible sheet like structure, and this sheet like structure, it is called as what? Diaphragm. Okay, but students, do you know that this diaphragm, its movement is different in the process of inhalation and in the process of exhalation. Now what do you mean by inhalation and what do you mean by exhalation? We breathe continuously, am I right? So when we breathe, we inhale the air inside our body, and when we exhale the carbon dioxide out of the body. So during the process of respiration, the diaphragm movement, it changes. So how exactly the diaphragm moves according to the out breath and according to the in breath, you can see that here in this diagram. So can you see that students over here in the case, during the out breath, during out breath means what? We are exhaling the carbon dioxide. So when air is expelled out of the body, can you see the movement of the diaphragm? The diaphragm, it is shifted upward side. And can you see that over here during the in-breath process? In-breath means what? We are taking inside air. So when we are taking inside air, you can see that the diaphragm, it is contracted downward. So here you can see that the diaphragm, it is pushed downward during the process of in-breath, and during the process of out-breath, the diaphragm is shifted in the upward direction. So this is the movement of the diaphragm during the process of the inhalation and during the process of exhalation. Now again in detail, you see that over here in this diagram, when the diaphragm moves downward, do remember please, when diaphragm moves downward, we breathe in. Okay, we breathe in means what? Air goes inside our body, which is rich in the oxygen, and the incoming air fills in the alveoli in the lungs. So first of all, the air goes inside our lungs. Okay, first of all, the air goes inside our nose. From the nose, the air will go inside the lungs, and inside the lungs the alveoli are present. So alveoli will take up the air. So can you see that, students, during the in-breath process? During the in-breath process, the first of all air will go into the nose, then it will go into the trachea and the lungs, and finally it will reach to the alveoli. So the alveoli will push the pressure on the diaphragm, and because of the air pressure, imagine, students, lungs are just like balloons. Lungs are just like balloons. Maximum air we intake, the maximum air pressure is created inside the lungs, and because of the air pressure which is created inside the lungs, the diaphragm pushes downward. So when we inhale or when we breathe in, that time the diaphragm moves downward. Got it, what I told you? So when we take the air inside, the air pressure is created inside the lungs, and because of the air pressure, the diaphragm is shifted downward. Is that clear? And exactly in the same manner, what exactly happens when we push air out? When we push the air out of the lungs, so that time what happens? Just like the balloon. So when we release the air from the balloon, the balloon comes back to its original shape and size. Am I right? So exactly in the same manner, when air which is filled inside the lungs, when it comes out, the lungs, it will come back to its original shape and the size. So you can see that here in this case, you can see that when the air goes out, from the lungs, you can see that the diaphragm, it is pushed upward direction. Okay, so the diaphragm, it is pushed in the upward direction. This is the original shape of the diaphragm. So original shape of the diaphragm, it is present in the upward direction. So when we exhale the air, so that time the diaphragm come in the upward direction, and when we inhale, the diaphragm comes in the downward direction. So this is the movement of the diaphragm during the respiration process. I hope so, students, now you must have understood the movement of the diaphragm during the process of respiration. And students, let me tell you that the exchange of the gases. I have tried to explain you in simple manner. You can see that over here, the pathway of the air. So from this flow chart, you will understand in better way. So you can see that over here, the atmosphere, it is filled with air. So this air, first of all, it will enter inside our nose. So the nose, it is connected to the pharynx. Pharynx is this region. Okay. So from the nose, air will enter inside the pharynx region. Okay. So the pharynx will transfer air to the trachea. The trachea will transfer air to the bronchi. The bronchi are the branch-like structure which are going inside the two lungs. So from the bronchi, the air will go to the lungs. There are two lungs, left lung and right lung. So from the bronchi, the air will go to the lungs. And from the lungs, the air will finally move towards the alveoli. Alveoli are the grape-like structure. I repeat once again. First of all, air will enter inside the nose. From nose, the air will move toward the pharynx. Then it will go to the trachea. Then it will go to the bronchi. Then it will go to the lungs. And then it will go to the alveoli. Now you must be thinking, so when air reaches to the alveoli, then what next? So when air reaches to the alveoli, then what next? Let me tell you that alveoli are in close contact with the blood. So as alveoli are in close contact with the blood, in the alveoli, the exchange of the gases takes place. So as you can see that when the outside air, it reaches the alveoli, the oxygen in the blood, the oxygen in the alveoli passes into the blood vessel around the alveoli. Okay, so the alveoli, it is in contact with the blood vessel. So oxygen which is present in the alveoli, that will go into the blood vessel. Okay, now you all know that blood, it is in the liquid form. Blood flows throughout the body. So wherever the blood will go, the blood will take up the oxygen with it. Are you getting my point? So the blood, with the blood, it is carried to the all parts of the body. So with blood, now oxygen is present. Now this oxygen, it will go to the all parts of the body with the help of what? Blood. Are you getting my point? So students, you all know that all living organism produces waste material also. So at the same time, when blood transfers the oxygen to all parts of the body, the waste material, that is carbon dioxide, is formed. The carbon dioxide is formed by all parts of the body. So if the carbon dioxide gas, it is formed inside in the body, which is harmful for our body, it has to be taken outside. So the carbon dioxide, it is collected from all parts of the body. So when the blood reaches to the lungs near to the alveoli, so the alveoli give in the oxygen and alveoli take up the carbon dioxide. So when we exhale means what? Giving out, the air which is giving out. Okay, the process of giving out air, it is called as what? Exhale. So when we exhale, the carbon dioxide, it is also given out with the air. Are you getting my point? So if you want to understand in the better way, I have shown you here diagram. So can you see that, guys? Here this alveoli, it is present in the lungs. At the end of the lungs, the alveoli are present. These alveoli are in close contact with the blood vessel. So what is happening here? The alveoli are rich in the oxygen. Alveoli giving in oxygen to the blood. So blood is taking up oxygen and it is carrying out to all parts of the body. Okay. So when blood is giving oxygen to all parts of the body, the blood collected the carbon dioxide with it. The carbon dioxide, it is very harmful to the body. So what blood vessels are doing? Blood vessels are giving out carbon dioxide to the alveoli. So can you see the relation between the blood vessel and the alveoli? Alveoli giving oxygen to the blood and alveoli taking the carbon dioxide. So this carbon dioxide, it will come out to the lungs, and this carbon dioxide, it will come out of the nose. So this is how exactly the exchange of the gases takes place. So you can see that in this way, the exchange of the oxygen and the carbon dioxide, it takes place inside the alveoli. Understood now how exactly the exchange of gases takes place? I hope so. Now the students' concepts are clear over here. So students, you all know that respiration process is very, very important, and in the process of respiration, lungs are involved. So we make to ensure that whatever air we are inhaling, that air should be clean and clear. It should be purified air. But there are many people who have the habit of smoking. You all know that smoking, it is very harmful to the body. The smoking contains the tobacco. Tobacco, it is not good for the body. But you all know that if the one keeps on smoking over a long period of the time, the toxic substances which are present in the smoke, they are collected in the respiratory tract. And as a result, the air that enters the lungs, it is not sufficiently purified, and the impurities which are present in the air, they starts accumulating inside the lungs. So that means what? When people smoke, along with the smoke, a lot of toxic material, they go and they settle down inside the lungs. And because of the toxic material which are present in the lungs, the exchange of the gases, it doesn't take place. And the impure air, it is circulated to all parts of the body. And students, you can see that over here, as a result, the efficiency of the lung is reduced. That means the lungs are not able to work properly. And therefore, there are the more chances that the lung disease might occur. So even you must have heard most of the time like lung cancer, etc. So even lung cancer is causes because of the continuous smoking and chewing tobacco as well. So guys, you can see that over here. See, can you see this person has the healthy lungs and this person has a smoking lungs? Can you see the difference between that? This person is not inhaling the smoke and that's why the lungs are healthy. But this person, it is purposefully inhaling the smoke. And because of the smoke, you can see that the lungs are completely damaged because of the accumulation of the toxic substance. Accumulation means what? Collection. So students, always remember that during smoking, what exactly happens now? The solid particle which are present in the tobacco of the smoke or from the cigarette or BD, they form a sticky layer inside the alveoli. So this reduces the amount of oxygen supplied to the body. This ill effect lead to the diseases of the respiratory organ, including the life-threatening diseases like even lung cancer. So this smoking, it is not good for the body. A lot of lung damage might occur. It occurs because of the continuous smoking process. So guys, you can see that these are the lungs I have given you. I have shown you here in this picture. These are the healthy lungs and these are the smoker lungs. Can you see the image over here? These lungs are completely damaged and it is a result of the lung cancer because of the continuous smoking. Now students, you identify the healthy lung, now you identify the smoking lung, and now you decide by yourself that smoking is good thing or smoking is bad thing. Yes, smoking is good or bad? The smoking is completely bad. Student, you must have seen that most of the time, even when we are not even smoking, there are people who are around us, they are continuously smoking and their smoke goes inside our body although we are not smoking. So that type of the smoking, it is called as what? Passive smoking. Are you getting my point? So what is basically meaning of the passive smoking? Can you see that the other person is smoking? We are not directly smoking, the other person is smoking, but the smoke which is coming out, that is going inside our body unknowingly. Indirectly the smoke is going inside our body. So even this is called as what? Passive smoking, which is not good. Even the fume which are present, the dust which are present, the chemical, they goes inside our body. So always remember that student, whenever anyone is smoking in your surrounding, close your nose. Okay, otherwise tell to that person, do not smoke in the public places. Okay, tell that person that don't smoke near to me, otherwise our lungs will get damaged although we are not smoking, which is completely bad thing. And that's why student, nowadays the government had made rule that there is now ban on the smoking in the public place. If at all someone found smoking in the public place, then that person will get the fine. Even smoking while driving, it is also not good thing. There are many people who smoke during driving also, which is completely banned. Okay, so that's why the smoking is not good at all. So passive smoking, it is also that much harmful to us only. So that's why we have to stay away from those people who are smoking actually. Understood now? So students, what we have learned so far today? We have, even you must have seen that most of the time there are, you can see that on the cigarette packet, it is clearly written that smoking kills. Even on the cigarette packet, it is completely written that tobacco causes cancer. It is completely written by the company itself, the tobacco causes the cancer, even the smoking kills also. But still, people don't listen. People keep on, smoking. They don't value their life, so they keep on smoking, which is completely bad. Okay, so this is not good habit at all because it damages the lungs completely. Understood? So students, now what we have learned so far today? We have learned today regarding the diaphragm movement. So what we have learned today? We have learned that during the out breath, the diaphragm is pushed upward. And during the inhalation, the diaphragm, it is thrown outside. Okay, it is pushed downward. Understood? And what we have learned today? We have learned today regarding the exchange of the gases. First of all, the air goes inside the nose, then it goes inside the trachea, then it goes inside the bronchi, then it goes inside the lungs, and the air passes towards the alveoli. So once air passes to the alveoli, so the alveoli is rich in the oxygen. Alveoli gives oxygen to the blood, okay, and blood carries oxygen to all parts of the body, and then blood collects the harmful gas which is called as a carbon dioxide from all parts of the body, and the carbon dioxide, it is given out with the alveoli from the nose. So this is how the exchange of the gases takes place inside the alveoli. And what else we have learned today? We have learned that the smoking is injurious to health. So if we smoke continuously, if any person is smoking continuously, the lung gets completely damaged and the person develops the lung cancer, and these are the healthy lungs. Okay, so I hope so students, whatever we have learned today, you must have understood that. So we will stop here. We'll continue the same topic in the next session. Bye bye, take care.